1 shot of gin. I don't know how much gin is in this, but I'll be fine, probably. Also, it's James Beaufort's drink of choice.
Wait, is it?
Uh-huh.
Fuck, I don't remember.
I cannot remember why I printed a picture of Ophelia.
To represent me. That's me out there, you know. That's how I
Yeah, this is Petra. Petra is in her director chair. If you want to imagine Petra is anything,
it's Ophelia. I really referencing the life of the show.
Also weirdly times accurate. This is why we waited a full year just for the stars to line. I don't fucking know. Oh, I know why! I know why! They have an aunt Ophelia in the books. Things are coming back to me. I have no clue anymore because I read these books in a fever dream in 2 days over the summer last year, and I hope I can remember something. And if it comes, I'm not speaking into the mic. If it comes back to me eventually throughout filming, if any detail comes back to me, I'll let you know. A fuse blows. This is from the end of last episode. It's coming back to me.
You went from being a Barbie to being the, what is it, Bratz?
The evolution from a Barbie to a Bratz. Let's go. Side again. I think I was holding it wrong. I think this is the correct side. We're back, baby. We're so fucking back. Welcome to part 2 of this mess. It took me a year to record part 2 because of reasons. A full-time-ish job being one of the reasons. I'm an adult. I've started adulting. Petra too. She was adulting before me. Slightly. Yeah. Also, prefrontal cortex fully developed now. Okay, the point is, welcome back. It's good for me to be back. I hope I will remember enough to finish this recap. And also, I feel like it would feel very nice for us to finish a project, because everything we start, we kind of just leave up in the air until we feel like doing it again. It's fine. But this part 2 is happening, and cheers to that. Previously on Maxton Hall, Ruby and James kind of had their little enemies to lovers arc. However, they got interrupted by Mortimer. That was the most straightforward recap I've ever done in my life. Holy shit. Yeah, that's what happened. And if we remember, they were kissing passionately in that basement at school trying to fix the fuse that blew. And Mortimer fucking scares everyone with his flashlight. Still hate him, still the devil. We'll cover that in a minute, in literally a minute, because episode 5 opens right after he scares the shit out of my kids. And I'm gonna skip through those dramatic monologues this time because they are fun, but also just go watch the show. Because I had fun with the dramatic reading before, but yesterday trying to look through my notes, I was like, this is so much. I've done so much work. James is literally too stunned to speak at the moment because his papa interrupted his kiss. May I remind everyone that my kids were DTF. The quotes from the book that I still remember vividly were, his POV was like, I would have gone so far, I don't know, I wouldn't have stopped at kissing if Papa Mortimer didn't interrupt. And her quotes include just saying more. And I'm like, Ruby, more what? This is a family-friendly show. Or is it? Episode 6? Episode 6. I can't get ahead of myself. James knew there would be consequences to his actions, but I don't think he was expecting them to be so immediate. Like, he goes in for the kiss, and Mortimer shows out of fucking nowhere and ruins it in like 2 seconds. He lightly threatens Ruby, saying something about the principal, like Lexington, I think is his name, being like, I wonder if Principal Lexington knows what you're doing in the basement, or whatever. And James tells Ruby to get the fuck out of here. There. Here, there. Everywhere. Now, we go outside. See, I told you we're going literally anywhere and everywhere. Because outside, Lydia just gets out of the car for no apparent reason other than to just get some air. Because, to remind you, the kids pulled a twin swap and she went to the press conference that James was supposed to go to for this new line that they have at their fashion house business thing that Mortimer and their mom is running. She goes out to take some air. Sutton makes eye contact and puppy eyes at her.
And the relationship. I'm just so sick of the student.
I'm sick too, but we'll have to talk about it more. Yes, and I hate it, but it's fine, and we'll do it, and we'll take some sips of a very the very strong gin and tonic we're drinking. But they make eye contact. Thank God they don't speak in this scene because it's done in 3 seconds because James and Mortimer are walking towards the car. There's a final look. I love how much show don't tell they do in this show, because there is a look between Lydia and Sutton where Lydia looks at him kind of like, is this the life you don't want me to give up? Like, look around. Who is happy in this situation? No one. Context for this is that she told him they can run away or something. I think, last episode. Yeah, they've had such discussions, I guess. And he's like, no, you can't give up your family. We can't run away. There are worse crimes that the show commits regarding these two. We will get there. And it's not gonna be fun for me to talk about, because clearly I feel a certain way about these people. And just this. And it's so unnecessary. And I like the author. I like what she stands for and what she posts on the internet. She seems a very nice person. Why do you include a teacher-student romance in, I think first novel is 2018 or something? Maybe it was a thing. I mean, it's still a thing because Zodiac Academy exists, and I think there's a student-teacher thing there. Tale as old as times. We go back inside, and Ruby makes her way through the crowd, a bit nervous because she just talked to the devil over there, and Principal Lexington intercepts her in the crowd and says, yo, good job with the party. Here's your letter of recommendation that, remember, Ruby needs for Oxford. And good job on the party, yada yada. We interrupt Ruby, Kieran and Lynn celebrating this little victory of theirs in a great party to go back to the Beaufort house. Residence Beaufort Manor. These people are loaded. I don't know what kind of living arrangements they have. It's huge. The twins are set down for a talking to by the devil. It's quite dramatic and traumatic, and we're gonna cover it. And while I'm not gonna do the dramatic inner monologues, I'm still probably gonna quote some of this because Mortimer is actively traumatizing his kids right now. The kids are set on some armchairs. Mortimer is like pacing around the room, and he's like, what you did was the greatest affront I have ever had to endure from you two. Drama queen. You wait for the most important moment of the decade for Beaufort to pull a twin-swapping stunt like something out of a goddamn B movie. Sir, how dare you? The Parent Trap is timeless classic. Sir, what the fuck? After everything we went through because of you, he looks at Lydia. You have the audacity to show up tonight to represent the company? Remind you that I think I mentioned in the part 1 of this that they had to pull a lot of strings and pay off a goddamn journalist who she had a relationship with, but she also lost her virginity to him, and he had some compromising photos or something of her, and they had to pay that guy like 10,000 euros or something. And also, like, that's a lot of money.
I mean, not for them, I was expecting.
Well, no, but I mean, I think for everyone, yeah, but I don't think they want to throw their money around like that. For blackmail, and it's also very rich people problems, but like that's what they've had to endure from Lydia. Also, Lydia's track record with relationships isn't great, knowing this about the photographer, and she was underage. Not that she isn't right now. I think they're 18. I'm not sure.
I mean, they're graduating, and they're twins, right?
They are like 17 now, probably.
Yeah.
More like it. Lydia doesn't just sit there and take it. She tries to protest his statement by saying that it was her idea all along, this new line from Beaufort, and it's her baby. She wrote the whole goddamn speech James was gonna do. Why wouldn't she be at the press conference? She belongs there, which damn straight. What does he say back? You're lucky I intercepted you before you walked into that press room and destroyed the only good thing you've ever done for this family. What a great father figure he is. And then he says, which brings us to you, looks at James, our Casanova, our self-proclaimed Romeo, who doesn't care about family matters if they don't fit into his schedule, who comes crawling on his knees about his lacrosse practice but can't obey for one evening.
Wait, they're doing lacrosse?
They are doing lacrosse, you forgot?
Oh my god, like, now it's bringing back memories for me. Oh my god.
Yeah, girl, Teen Wolf and Maxton Hall.
They're in the same universe.
Basically.
Lacrosse exists.
Yeah.
Where it doesn't fucking exist.
Yeah. I can't remember who, like, Uncarly or someone said that lacrosse feels like a weird sport that was solely made up for Teen Wolf.
Because it is.
Well, for Teen Wolf and Maxton Hall. But for teen dramas in general. Who plays lacrosse?
No, I'm fucking Googling it. Does lacrosse exist?
Is lacrosse a real sport?
Oh, it's originally like a Native American sport.
Fun! We were so disrespectful right there. It's not a made-up sport. We love native sports. Indigenous peoples. We love it.
And then the
And of course,
settlers came in and took over.
yeah, I'm also like, of course we stole a fun game from indigenous people. Isn't it great? World history. You thought this part wouldn't be educational? We had philosophy last time. We have lacrosse history this time. Welcome.
Sports history.
We're back, baby. We're so fucking back. Mortimer, of course, clocks this, James bottling up everything. He looks at him and goes, What? What is it? Do you have something to say? Taunting him. Things are so hot right now in here that we cut back to Maxton Hall. Because Ruby, Kieran, and Lynn have no clue about anything that's happening with the Beaufort kids. And they're just, like, celebrating with a little drink. Is it apple cider? Is it champagne? We'll never know. Ruby sees Sutton, and they have a little interaction that will become relevant a bit later, and honestly in season 2. I'm not gonna spoil shit, just I think, if I remember correctly, someone takes pictures of this. And it's gonna bite someone in the ass. I say someone like I know what I mean, because I genuinely don't remember if Sutton gets in trouble with these pictures or no, but clearly Ruby. We go back to the Beauforts, and we're right back straight in the fucking fire. Mortimer continues to give James a bunch of shit, and he says, well, James, what is it going to be? Or do you only open your mouth to stick your tongue down your new little girlfriend's throat? What father talks to their children like this?
No,
Like,
it's weird.
he's so intense, and do we think that's how intense he stays, or do we think he's gonna get even more intense? More intense it is. James stands up, looking like he's gonna confront him, but instead walks outside. Outside, Percy notices what is happening. He's just like, okay, I'm gonna watch the situation developing, because maybe someone needs to jump in and help these children. Mortimer follows James outside, and a lot of revelations start to happen. Like, Mortimer is just spitting venom left and right, and he is once again proving why he is the fucking devil, and starts threatening Ruby indirectly while talking to James. He's like, yeah, I know all about her family. She's nothing more than a gold digger. Her dad is like on disability aid pension, whatever. Her mom has a bakery, but the bakery is struggling. They're in debt. And it's all these like freaky little details.
So he said, fuck poor people.
Mortimer very much, but he used to be working class.
Working class.
Be honest.
I am being honest.
May I remind everyone that he married into this family. I don't think her name is Cordelia. It's Cordelia's family.
So he just wants to kick the ladder behind him once he climbs all the way into the circles. Okay.
Basically, an opportunist if I've ever seen one. But apparently there's some merit to him once we get to Oxford in the next episode. Because they are like legacy applicants, basically. They have a sure ticket in. But it's because of both of their parents. And Mortimer used to be like top of his class at Balliol and all that. So there is some credit to him. But nevertheless, used to be a working class citizen. Apparently forgot the struggles. James finally speaks up and tells Mortimer to shut up, to which Mortimer is quite shocked. But also, sir, what did you expect? You've been taunting this kid for 5 minutes straight, and he finally talks back at you and you say, excuse me? James tries to keep talking to defeat Ruby, and he's like, if you say one more word about Ruby Bell, gets interrupted by a slap so freaking hard that James falls on the gravel. Percy, because he's been watching all of this, jumps in between them and stops Mortimer from landing another hit on his son. Do we think this is an isolated incident? Because it feels like it isn't. Mortimer keeps on barking at James, and he's like, it takes one call from me and all her Oxford dreams go up in smoke. I can arrange that she never gets an interview, and it's done. Over for her. It's now the next morning at the Bell House. James has left Ruby on red. I think she has something like, yo, what's up? Did your dad say anything? How are you? Left on red. She rushes to go to school and puts some money, some spare change into that shoebox that she keeps on gathering money in to buy her dad a lift because he's in a wheelchair and their bedroom is upstairs. It's a whole thing. And she's been saving up. Why? Because as we know from her whole trauma around water, they had this boating accident and she feels like she's at fault for her dad being in a wheelchair right now. Something we'll come back to is that shoebox, because her mom enters her room vacuuming. Do we think she'll find what's in the shoebox? What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Someone played it sound.
What's in the box? Maybe my style of editing changed as well. Maybe I will add more
We need more clips.
weird things in there, you know? Some reaction shots. God knows. We're now at school and the Beauforts arrive. They get greeted by the lacrosse boys. I think Cyril talks to Lydia because his crush is still very much alive. I feel like I've mentioned that in part 1.
Yes.
I talked so much in part 1. I feel like we are aware. But James goes and talks to the boys. They make a little joke about his broken lip. And they're like, did Elaine get frisky last night? Or did Alistair finally beat you up? And James is like, nah, I just walked into a door. Covering up some things. A thing that is coming back to me from the books, it's his POV chapter. And he says something like, I think the boys have learned not to ask too many questions whenever they see me with like a bruise, a broken lip or whatever, because we all have our own shit going on at home. And we don't go that deep. They are good friends though. Like, we'll see in season 2. I think we'll see in season 2. But based on how season 1 has gone, I think they will stay very book accurate. Their friendship group is like quite healthy. They're alright, but you know how teenage boys are, and they're not gonna openly talk about their abusive dads. But it is implied in that chapter that this wasn't an isolated incident, like I said earlier, and that the guys are kind of aware. Cyril, who smells like... what did we say he smells like?
What's the most douchebag perfume?
I think like Versace Eros or something.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
Paco Rabanne. 1 million or some shit. Cyril tells James, oh, it's too bad you left early last night because you missed us having so much fun. You missed the party. The party was the lacrosse guys drinking in the empty library at school.
Oh, to be teenager.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't relate anymore. It's so dumb. But James says, no problem, we party again tonight. And it's so clear that he's putting up all of that Beaufort-esque attitude. You just want to slap him in the face. He's back on James Beaufort shit. And it's very much a trauma response to what happened to him yesterday. And he just needs to keep on putting up this performance, because in his head is what he needs to do to protect Ruby. Our King Alistair has a scene of his own once again, outside of his relationship with James, you know. Him and Cash fall behind, and if we remember from last episode, Alistair was on his phone, on like Tinder, Hinge, whatever, on some apps, while the guys were teasing Cash about his sexuality, which honestly, not very cool. Their relationship, their hookups are secret, obviously, and Alistair kind of has headed with Cash because he doesn't need for him to be out, but it's also getting frustrating for him because Cash made like a little like homophobic joke just to get out of the boys teasing him the other day. So when Cash stops Alistair and they fall behind to talk, Alistair goes like, here at school in front of everyone? And I'm like, yes, King, give him attitude, he fucking deserves it. Cash wants to hang out after school and talk about the previous night, but Alistair is having none of it, and he's like, nuh-uh, no boy. Shuts him down. We're gonna play Spot the Difference.
Oh my god. Different of what? About what?
No, just 2 different pictures of James. Okay. Which James is more slappable?
To my right, so the one with the ball.
This one?
Yes.
Okay.
Do it.
Okay. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. Let's play Spot the Difference, shall we? This James deserves to be smacked right in his pretty face. This James deserves it. This James was smacked right in his pretty face. This James didn't deserve it. I just feel like that's something that speaks volumes about his character arc and where he is right now. But we'll see how the next scenes go and how Ruby feels about him. Because, as I said last episode of me recapping Maxton Hall, as I've said in part 1, the enemies to lovers arc repeats in these last 2 episodes. After Alistair's interaction with Cash ends, he goes and reads James's attitude and situation perfectly and asked if he's okay. James just says everything shit. How's it going with you? And Alistair is like, yeah, I'm ignoring my secret boyfriend. It's going great. We're getting married next week. And they walk inside. I need a sip because next scene
What's happening?
is a crime.
Oh.
Let's go. Also delicious drink. Gin and tonics, man, they're classic.
How do we feel about Gin Has?
Gin has, for anyone watching that doesn't know, is gin, mango syrup, and lemonade. I feel like it's there's a gin has crowd, to say the least, and it's either very, very young people that just started drinking because it's a very sweet drink, or it's a very weird group of people in their 40s plus, that I can't really characterize other than weird. Genuinely, because why would you do that to yourself when you're 40 plus? Why would you have such a sugary drink? But also, who am I to judge? If you like a gin has, you like a gin has. Maybe I get it in summer, but there are some people who only drink that, and I'm like, low-key judging. There we go, my opinion on gin has. Brilliant. Yeah. Let's breathe in, breathe out, and prepare mentally for a Lydia and Sutton scene on school grounds, people. They're in a secluded-ish place. Their school is giving castle, so they're like on one of the like side walls or something, somewhere on campus. Sutton shows up and asks about last night. Lydia tries to dismiss it and leave, but he follows her and he tells her he does want to run away, let's do it, and he still loves her, they should just go, whatever, and then they kiss at school.
Jail.
Literally.
Take him to jail.
I just can't. I can't with the two of them.
Jail time.
He says, let's meet Thursday to make a plan. One of my favorite scenes is coming. Beautiful. We're walking with Ruby and Lynn towards class. Ruby has other things on her mind other than James right now. She's heard that a lot of the invitations for the interviews at Oxford have gone out already. She hasn't received hers yet, so she's a bit panicky about that. And then she sees James and the gang walk down the hallway, like in the opposite direction. Alistair, our king, is all smiley and nice. She gets excited because they just kissed. It was intense. She's like, okay, is this the start of something new? It feels alright to be here with you. Oh, will I leave my singing in? We'll never know. Does she get a moment of happiness? No, But we get an iconic slow-mo scene where James, mind you, wearing his Beaufort armor, walks straight past Ruby.
Oh my god.
No eye contact, nothing.
Can we do the Nate, what's her name, Cassie, Euphoria parallel scene?
Cold as ice. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'll insert it here in the footage.
Oppenheimer, fucking Robert Downey Jr. and Einstein.
Oh my god, the parallels. So rich, this show. I told you this show does show don't tell so well. Alistair, our king, after the slow-mo sequence where Ruby is like, oh, what just happened? Alistair turns his head and he literally looks back at her like, girl, I have no clue what just happened. I love him because he's just as stunned as us. Alistair isn't the only one who's noticed this. The whole hallway English. The entirety of the hallway noticed as well. We cut to Ruby having a panic attack in the classroom and looking out the window. I'm like, girl, pay attention in class. You want to get to Oxford. But also, I've been there. I've been so distracted once on a test at school. And it was one of the teachers that, like, loved me. Literally. I handed in that paper blank. We were supposed to write an essay. And I was in the middle of a breakup.
Oh.
The words were just not coming to me. And I just went to her after I sat there for 45 minutes. My mind was going at like 200 kilometers an hour about different fucking stuff other than the essay I had to write. And I handed in the paper blank. And she was like, she gave me so much grace. But she was like, now the whole test is void. Like, I can't grade anyone on this because you were in the class. What am I gonna do with you? I'm like, I'm sorry. Yeah, there we go.
You were going through
A
it.
bit of personal anecdotes and stories because that's what I like to do, sprinkle in. It's called oversharing. She looks out the window and sees the lacrosse team doing the whole what team? Wildcats, but with Maxton Hall, which I don't think is a vibe, but you go, guys. Maxton Hall, Maxton
Oh my god.
Hall,
About that?
whatever. Feels very straight coded. And she excuses herself out of class and walks decisively straight onto the lacrosse field towards James. The boys have a little, oh, James, you're in trouble, blah, blah. He is wearing his helmet still. It's honestly quite loaded, the scene. He looks very nice in the scene. She is quite angry with him. She goes, can you just take the helmet off while we speak? I need to talk to you. What the hell just happened? He takes off the helmet. Let's take a moment to just admire this man. This pathetic looking man looks like he cried all night, but puts up a brave face to reject her because that's what he has to do to protect her from Papa Mortimer. Ruby asks what's going on, why he's ignoring her. He plays dumb and asks, like, what does she mean? She calls him an asshole and asks for him to give it to her straight. Like, quit playing around with her. He stays silent and she continues to, like, ask if this was the plan all along. To, like, make her fall in love with him or, like, seduce her to get him out of trouble with Lexington to play lacrosse again, because there was the whole thing, right? He got suspended. He had to plan the party with the party planning committee. It was a whole thing. He finally lets out, you have no fucking clue what you're talking about. Ruby's eyes are filling with tears right now. The scene is quite intense and it's like her feelings are breaking through this tough exterior. And she asks what happened last night and if his father did this to him. and tries to reach to touch his face and his broken lip. He pulls away, takes a second. His eyes are also getting moist. That's a word people hate. Fucking, I'm committing to it. Then he says that he doesn't know what she's talking about. And what did she think? That they would hold hands and run through the meadows? It was just a kiss. She is low-key devastated, but just says it was more than that. Like implying I thought we were on the same page. Like, hello? The archive scene and him drawing her portrait and her house, did that mean nothing to him? He's trying to sell it that it didn't, and he's pissing her off. So it's working. James throws the final blow, and his chin is almost shaking, like this is breaking him inside. You didn't really think that someone like me would be interested in someone like you, did you?
Fuck you, please.
Like, very effective dialogue, and an effective way to keep her away and
But fuck
make
him.
Oh, no, honestly, fuck him. I told you the enemies to lovers repeat, and I can't believe we're back at square one. But also, he thinks he's doing it for the right reasons. She tries to get something out of him, like one more time, and asks why he's acting this way, to which he responds, "We should just go back to the way things were, Robin." Then turns around and walks away, leaving Ruby distraught, to say the least. He called her Robin because that was just like a joke from the beginning, where he literally didn't know her name. Our girl is experiencing a Category 5 heartbreak hurricane. Beaufort scale is... God knows, maybe I'll put it up. I mean, how intense is the storm right now? Very. Dude, the name of the episode is In the Eye of the Storm. I told you this show is smart. Like, they are very effective
I
with...
forgot they're still naming the episodes, because it's like I just
Yeah.
stopped giving a fuck about like everything. I was like, oh, they're not even naming the episodes, and now I'm like, oh,
In the Eye of the Storm.
when it fits, you know.
Yeah. God damn it. And it's all coming back to me now. I told you this inner monologue scenes in the show are not lifted from page directly, but they kind of encompass a lot of the things they think to themselves in their POV chapters. Like, it's a bunch of stuff just like compressed into that one dramatic
That's a good.
inner monologue. Yeah, like, it's honestly, this show is a great adaptation. I hope they keep it up, and genuinely it seems like they will, because why wouldn't they? Also, they have this, spoiler alert, the thing I'm looking forward to most in season 2 is they have this spring ball, and it's like fae themed,
Ooh.
the party, and I can't wait for the costumes, because in the book it's like described very nicely, and
And they have budget now. For sure.
God help me, I forgot her sister's name.
I hate to say it. I hope I don't sound ridiculous. I don't know who this man is. I mean, he could be walking down the street. I wouldn't know a thing. Sorry to this man.
I don't know her name. Sorry to this man. I don't know his name. Sorry to this woman. I don't know her. But she has a passion for fashion. She makes the dresses for Lydia and Ruby, I think. Here I am.
Cool.
Once again.
Your body's telling you need more gin.
Ocho. Cheers to that. Have you finished your coffee?
Oh my god.
Why am I drinking alone?
Oh my god, no, I swear.
Should I put Kahlua in your coffee? Don't make me come over there.
Wait.
Miss,
You better cut this out.
miss.
We are literally dunking egg, you know?
Am I egg?
Yeah, you're younger. Is it just to use?
And it's also my beanie day. I'm like, is this a way of you telling me that I look like egg-shaped with a beanie?
I mean, don't take it.
That's fair, I'm a cute egg. So what the hell is that second phone? I think it just fell.
What you looking for?
God knows. Motivation? What is happening? What is the next scene? Hello? Ah, she gets home. I'm sorry, guys. I skipped a paragraph and it made no fucking sense anymore. Turns out if you skip a scene, you're like, where am I? I am lost. Oh, who is she? A distant memory. Is it a distant memory? It's been a year, it is. She goes back home, but does our girl get a break? No, she doesn't. Because her mom, of course, finds the goddamn shoebox while vacuuming. Throwback to previous scene at the Bell house. And she's sat down at the table with her mom and dad, who give her a little lecture like, dude, why are you saving up the money for the lift? Like, this is not on you. It shouldn't be your priority. You should be using this money however the hell you want, because it's yours. And she has that part-time job at the cafe, right? Like, but Ruby has had a day, and she's like, I can't believe this is happening, and lets it slip out in her frustration that she blames herself for the accident. Her dad, but it's a very intense scene, and it's not like friendly dialogue, you know. And her dad basically is like, he's kind of angry. Everyone's just angry at each other. It's just a bunch of miscommunication, and it's just a lot of heartbreak still around what happened and their financial situation. It's a whole thing, right? She runs upstairs to her room, and her sister comes in and comforts her and holds her while she cries. That sisterly bond, that sibling bond, actually, because we're gonna go to the Beaufort residence and we're gonna have a good scene with the twins as well. So the recording stopped. You might notice a drop in quality. It's because of iPhone storage. We had time to make espresso martinis, and that's the mood right now. Cheers to us.
Mm-hmm. Cheers to season 2.
Oh, I made them strong. Good for us. Okay. Cool. Why does this feel... Are you not fully extended? Are you not fully erect? Can I put that on YouTube? Honestly, I dropped so many F-bombs. It's not like I'm monetizing. We can't even be monetized.
Are we gonna get cancelled by all the Puritans everywhere? For the erect joke?
I don't know. Also, I would like to take the time to thank the sponsor. I wish Kahlua sponsor us. Honestly. Or Beefeater. Gin and tonics, after all. Dior could. Just putting it out there, you know, manifesting. I did have that whole segment. Any perfume house. If you wanna collab, reach out. Don't be shy. I could have a segment, what do we think these characters smell in anything? Science.
Okay.
So I was talking for like 5 minutes without the recording.
Oh yeah, pink. I do
Fuck, okay. From the Ruby residence, No, that their house is too
Household.
small to be a residence. From the Bell household, we cut to James self-medicating with alcohol and dealing with his pain the only way he knows how. He is at Cyril's party, and then we cut to him stumbling on the steps and collapsing on the floor at their entrance, where his mom finds him, and she asks what happened to his lip. He manages to mumble something about like, it happened during lacrosse. So, a lie. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Clearly, this is a hint that Cordelia is not necessarily aware, or James most likely has never told her about Mortimer's style of parenting, which is, just sad for the rich boy. What can I tell you? Also, it's even more problematic, I guess, that Cordelia has no clue. You have one abusive parent and one ignorant one. But I don't think it's through a fault of her own. Like, she is busy. She's a businesswoman.
I get it.
And if he's actively hiding it from her, how can she find out? She carries James upstairs to his bedroom, puts him in bed, and makes him a little vitamin water for his hangover in the morning. But James has a little drunk confession, deep conversation type moment with her. And he just asks, like, if she ever wished she was anyone else. And she replies that she thinks everyone does at some point. He continues by asking if she was unhappy in her situation at the time. And she hesitates for a second and then replies with, unhappily in love.
Is it time for the theory for like who was her lover?
Yes. Yes. You wait for it. She goes on to say that at some point in life we just stop going after things and people implied that don't fit into our life plans, I guess, or into our lives, period. And then James asks what happened to him, because she says, I just threw myself into the family business, motherhood, yada yada. What about him? She says he just chose a different path. Sometimes people make each other unhappy, no matter how much they love each other, and it's better to let go. She gets up to leave, and James asks, what if letting go hurts too much? She replies, you can handle more than you think if you believe you're doing the right thing. Yeah. A sign that James will probably continue, or try his best to continue, to protect Ruby at any cost, at the cost of his happiness, at the cost of her happiness. And it results in a lot of misery, honestly. But do we think we're done with the misery? We are not.
Never ending cycle.
We have a little moment of joy next episode. But then after that, the end of the season is quite dramatic. It's the next day at school, and Ruby walks in to everybody celebrating that they got their letters with their invitations to the interviews. She's quite panicky about it, and she has a lot of on her plate right now, along with not getting an invitation for an interview at Oxford. There's also the whole I fell in love with James Beaufort and what a freaking asshole he is thing, but she's trying to put on a brave face and fake it till she makes it like James taught her, when Elaine approaches her with her Mean Girls clique and goes on to try to tease her about like, what happened with James? It looked quite dramatic yesterday. And I'm quite proud of Ruby in this moment. She just goes, whatever,
Fuck you.
he's all yours. That evening, she goes home and she takes the portrait he drew for her down from her wall, and you can see that she wants to crumble it up and throw it into the trash, but she can't bring herself to do that yet. So she just puts it in a drawer, and then we see her scribble something on a piece of paper. We cut to Lydia reading a note saying, "Fuck you, James."
Iconic.
It's an amazing transition. Let's take a moment to appreciate that transition, because the first time I watched this, I didn't clock it, and then the second time when I was rewatching to write the script, I was like, damn, cinema. Cinema. Along with that, we also get a shot in the little study session in James's bedroom. We also get a shot of the monogram leather bag that he gifted her for her birthday. So, relationship over. It's pretty clear that Ruby wants to move on and wants nothing to do with his fuck ass. Lydia asks if he's okay. He deflects and he's like, let's just focus on our notes, on studying for these interviews, on preparing, because I can't deal with that right now. And not all of us have a teacher friend. Everything good about this scene has already happened, because now we're gonna take a deep dive into how Lydia Sutton happened. And I know we've been programmed, as I've said in the first part of this recap, they're giving Ezra Arya, and I know we've been programmed to like it and vibe with it, but listen to this goddamn explanation and excuse. Again, I like the author, it's fine, but the way she wrote this and the way it's like she wrote excuses for this relationship. So listen to this. You think she seduced him or he seduced her, but it wasn't really like that. What really happened was they wrote emails to each other for months, and he was the first person that ever valued her for who she was, like not her name, not the family business,
I don't
her
care.
money, whatever.
I'm not buying into that.
And she only knew he was a teacher in training or like studying to be a teacher, and eventually they met for a coffee and it sparked up a romance. And James, you can see James through this conversation, like he relates to the things she's saying, because through describing how their love started, she's describing love to James, and it's kind of making him, you can see it on his face, that it's making him like realize his feelings for Ruby. Another note to just move on from this as fast as possible. In the show they say they wrote emails back and forth. Girl, and dear audience, the book is a product of its time, because in the book, and this hurt me so deep. I remember it, and I remembered last night when I was reading this. They don't exchange emails. They write messages to each other on Tumblr.
Wait, no way.
Yes. I swear to
Wait,
God.
the guy was on Tumblr?
I swear to God, this relationship started on Tumblr.
I don't know, older men on Tumblr messaging young girls, I don't know.
I'm like, goodbye. Yeah, so then it's not only a teacher-student thing, it's also like, think about the age gap, please. Because if it's already been going on for 2 years.
So when she was 16?
So she was like 15, 16. If he was a teacher in training, he must have been like 21, 22.
Yeah.
What's up with 20-something-year-olds
Going after
teenage girls? Like, can they stop?
They can't get a girl their age, and they're like, oh, I need
Yeah,
someone
but-
young to men.
Again, the ultimate excuse they have is that they met online and they didn't really know how old each other were before they met for that coffee.
No excuse.
They fell in love. They fell in love. I can't believe. Why are you like this? Get a grip. Finally, she voices a bit of surprise about James never asking about all of this. But then he says, it's not like we tell each other everything. The scene turns light-hearted, and James jokes, you allowed yourself to have feelings, rookie mistake. To which she replies, we're pretty pathetic, emotionally crippled and totally useless. A shame to the Beaufort name. Yeah, but at least we're not alone. They're bonding. I'm so happy for them. At least they have each other. Because this goddamn man exists. God freaking damn it, I can't. She hands him one of their, notes. And he goes to grab it and she pulls him into a hug. And she says, no, we're not. As in alone. I promise you that. Which is a sign that Lydia might not go to that cafe Thursday to plan her getaway with Sutton. I think a decision has been made that she's not going anywhere. Honestly, for James's sake. Because besides James, what does she have to keep her in this house? Next, we have a time-passing montage, which is so unclear to me. I'm like, how much time passed? Is it days? Is it weeks? Is it months? I have no clue. And this montage specifically makes me wish that more media did it like Twilight did it. Because at least it's clear that it's like how many months? It's like 3-4 months. I love that montage. Iconic. Put it in the video. I don't know. Let it play. That Thursday where they needed to plan running away passes because we get a shot of Sutton at their cafe alone. So she didn't show up for their little date. Good. She chose her family. Ruby comes home from her cafe job. And we have a scene where she sits down on the bench with her dad, and we finally get some closure about the accident. And they just voice all of these feelings like, dude, it's not your fault, you're just a baby girl, and it was just by chance that boat hit him, yada yada. But it's good that they finally get some healing, or some healing can begin out of this scene with them. When they get inside, we see that Ruby's invitation to Oxford arrived, and they all celebrate, and it's a little happy moment in the Bell household. Ruby goes upstairs and starts packing for her Oxford trip. At the Beaufort residence, James is also packing, and we see Cordelia walk into the room holding his granddad's watch. She goes to give it to him, and she's like, I hope it brings you luck, just like it brought me. And it's supposed to be a nice gesture to encourage James, give him a little boost of confidence, or yo, we all believe in you. It's supposed to be nice, right? Does James take it like that? No. And he gives her attitude. He's like, thanks, takes it and throws it into the luggage like it's nothing. Of course, his mom has a reaction, and she's like, a little bit of respect would be nice. And then he goes, thank you for a few more kilos of sentimental weight and expectations on my shoulders. She tries to console him and says that it's normal to be nervous and anxious before a big step, and how silly all of this anxiety will seem to him when he's studying at Oxford and all is well. James interrupts, and he's like, what if I don't like Oxford? What if I don't want to be the poster boy for young Beaufort? What if I never want to run the family business? He's in full, he's spiraling. And it's a fair emotional response to everything that's been going on. She reminds him of the privilege he has, that a school like Oxford, that it's so easy for him to get in, and he has the status, the money, frankly, to go there, and he has a safety net as well. And it's not just all the pressure, right? Like, he should be happy. And he says, happiness isn't the same for everyone. You said it yourself. Teenage boy. Yeah. And also dramatic, but I feel like drama is in their genes, you know. She entertains his thoughts, and she asks, like, then what do you want to do? If not Oxford, if not the family business. What do you want? He replies, the chance to find out. She takes a deep breath and tells him, like, he is still so young. She doesn't want him to throw away all of the opportunities he has. And she never understood her parents either, but she's eternally grateful to them now. Like the Beaufort name, their family history, yada yada. He's just like speaks back again, and he's like, and it should automatically be my history, my business as well. Honestly, a heartbreaking conversation. And I'm gonna leave it at that. We're now in the bathroom floor with Lydia, who is staring at a positive pregnancy test. And we've entered their worst crime. She's pregnant with his baby.
Does this happen in the book?
Yes. It's great. I'm having such a good time. She walks out of the bathroom at the same time as Cordelia walks out of James's bedroom. And they have a moment on the hallway because they are both like crying-ish. Like they both have, tears in their eyes, and they share a hug. And of course, Cordelia must be thinking that she's nervous as well, or whatever, after the conversation she just had with James. Never in a million years would this woman think that her daughter is having...
That
her teenage daughter is now about to become a teen mom by her teacher. God damn. We have a little inner monologue from James. I think it's from James. I don't quite remember, but I think it's his. While they walk out to the car in the morning, Cordelia hugs Lydia, and he fully ignores his mom, walks past, cold as ice, just gets into the car. Remember that for later too. His whole inner monologue is about like the calm before a storm. Again, a call back to the name of the episode. A callback to Ruby's Beaufort scale. I needed to watch out for a storm thing. Ruby arrives at Oxford. She is greeted by... I have his picture somewhere, but I'm gonna put it up for next episode. I even forgot that man's name. But then I found out in the script. His name is Jude. She's greeted by this guy. It's giving me the ick because it's a college student. Implied that he's like second or third year. Just like greeting people, welcoming them, right? But no, he is flirting with Ruby. And I'm like, again, sir, she's 17. What the hell? 18 at best. I'm like, why are men like this? She doesn't give him the time of day. And she's like, no, I know my way around. Thank you, sir. Which is accurate to a person who's been obsessed with going to Oxford all her life. She's like, no, thank you. I don't need to be walked to the dorms. I know where they are. I know where I'm going. And I'm like, good for you, girl. Miss Independent here. As she goes to open her dorm room, she hears someone behind her on the stairs and on the hallway, right across from her. She turns around and it's James. Of course, they are sharing a floor. Of course.
Effing not.
Of course. They share a few looks, and we cut to black. End of episode 5. Hello, new day of filming, new outfit.
Oh, this one.
And we need to censor what Petra thinks about this t-shirt, because every time I wear it, she says it's for monster f***ers.
I mean, it's Venom. It's
Just
given.
tell us what tags on AO3 and we're fine.
No.
No?
No, we need to,
No.
then we're gonna censor this episode.
This episode needs to be censored anyway, because hot things are coming our way. One moment. Yes, well, I completely forgot yesterday, but maybe I'll use this to cut the footage and just like show you. I don't even know. No, the point is, James is hot in this picture, and this is how he looked on the lacrosse field when Ruby goes to confront him, and what a gorgeous man. Yeah, that's it. I also have I never showed anyone this, but I made a Venn diagram last year of things that Maxton Hall and Teen Wolf have in common, because it's lacrosse, iconic party scenes, and characters named Lydia. Both redheads.
Yeah, it can't be coincidence.
Or strawberry blonde, whatever you want to call it. I'm like, honestly, iconic. They truly are. I love those boys, those men.
Boys.
Cyril, why do you like this?
He's like, I'm not the main character, I'm leaving.
Fucking, most of his scenes are this episode. I mean, he gets. No, there's
Oh no, he's gonna be prey.
Someone has a crush on Cyril.
Is it the sister?
No, it's not the sister, but someone has a crush on Cyril. So like, there's probably gonna be.
Can it be Lydia? And
No.
she can break up with Peter?
You know, I wish, but no, that is not the case, and that is. I told you we'll never.
Never ever.
We'll never, ever, ever getting back together. We're ready for episode 6. Let's go. So, last afternoon, yesterday, Ruby and the gang arrived at Oxford. It's the morning. We get a little inner monologue from Ruby, something about Olympic athletes and how they follow 3 rules when preparing for their competitions: get enough sleep, meticulous preparations, and avoid any distractions at all costs. Alluding to the fact that James is her number 1 distraction and she needs to avoid him and just focus on Oxford and her interview going well, right? On my second watch, because the first watch is like, this girl just loves school, it's fine, she's type A. We have that philosophy class where you're like, okay, she's book smart, whatever. I realized something. For as much as we talk about how James doesn't really know what he wants to do with his life, or like how he just gets thrust into things by not really his choice, whatever, we don't know anything about what Ruby wants truly besides being at Oxford. Like, for such a type A person to not tell us directly that what she wants to study is insane to me. We know that she wants to study at St. Hilda's College at Oxford, and I went on the website, made a list of all the undergraduate programs they have. Does Ruby want to study politics and philosophy and economics? Probably, that's what you'd think. And then I read the books and I found out that in the book this is mentioned like in the first chapter. So we have an answer in the book in literally the first chapter, but the show never tells us what this woman wants to study. I just have like, it's my only nitpick, I guess, because the rest is, I love this show. Genuinely, I'm just like, why did they never tell us? That's it. I think it's just an oversight. James, obviously, you don't have to think that much about it, because that's like his character arc is not about what he wants to study or why he wants to go to like Balliol at Oxford, but it's obviously business related. Like he's probably gonna study like a business degree or something, because he needs to run Beaufort, right? That's the whole point. Anyway, after walking around the campus, she gets back inside one of these fancy buildings, and she literally walks into Jude, that guy that was flirting with her at the end of the last episode. The next scene is just about how serious these Nepo babies take this Oxford trip and the interviews. Like, we have a little scene between Cyril and Cash. Cash is nervous, but Cyril gives him a little, like, pep talk, but it's more like, it just shows their privilege. He literally says, like, something like, you could puke on the dean's desk in front of him during the interview and you would still get in because of your dad, of your mom, whatever. After that, we move on to James, who is playing with his grandpa's watch in his hand, and Lydia comes to greet him. She asks if he's okay. He's like, yeah, we just gotta walk in and it's no big deal. We walk in, we get accepted, and we leave. I realized they didn't put this man's picture up. It's okay, I don't care about Jude that much. It's fine. Jude gives the Maxton Hall gang a tour around. He tells them they have 45 minutes to prep for the first round of interviews, and he leaves them in that big assembly hall. We see Ruby read her notes and trying to prep, and she takes a look up like from her notes and sees James walk in, of course, but she takes in a deep breath and she's like, no distractions. Jude walks back in and calls Ruby's name, meaning it's her turn to go to the interviews. She gets up to walk out of the room, and we get again one of the most iconic slow-mo shots of this show. Remember last episode I was like, yeah, he walked into school and it was cold as ice and they ignore each other and like whatever. This one is very Pride and Prejudice, because we see James, as Ruby walks past him, we see James kind of like go into this disassociating moment, but like he's just staring forward, and as if like outside of his free will, it just happens, he grabs her hand out of nowhere, still looking like ahead. Then he looks like startled that he did that, looks at her, and he's like, holy shit, I just did that, and just says, good luck. How dare this man mess with her like this? And how is she supposed to not be distracted? I'm like,
on purpose, sabotage.
No, but genuinely, I love it. There's such a focus on their faces and on the hand touch, because I think he doesn't really grab her hand, he grabs her wrist, and it's so intimate, you know. Get your thinking hats on, because we're about to talk about some smart stuff again, because Ruby is in the interview now, and for some reason, for her first task, she needs to form an opinion on whether or not the British monarchy is a wasteful anachronism, and can the dual system of monarchy and parliamentary democracy persist, or should the UK become a republic? Again, Maxton Hall makes you think about very interesting things, honestly. When it's not, well, not when it's not, because it's always a teen drama, and the drama is delicious, but also
The UK should be a republic.
it's the philosophy class, the first few episodes, it's this asking you, just posing the question if the UK should be a republic. I guess the answer is yes. God damn it, you know? We cut from Ruby back to James, where his first interview is going well too. we see the interviewer say something like, I knew you were gonna do well because we know Mortimer, right? We remember him. He was top of his class. And you seem just as good as he was. How do we think this comparison makes James feel? Do we think he likes being compared to Mortimer? Do we? Anyway, the interviews are over and we cut to the hallway where Ruby and Lynn are greeted again by Jude, who invites them out for some drinks, and we cut straight to the bar. It's the final episode, baby, and we gotta move fast. There's a lot of stuff to cover. At the bar, Ruby, Lynn, and Jude walk in together. James and the gang are already set at some table, and we see them try to ignore each other, trying their best to ignore each other. Like, Ruby just walks past, no eye contact, no anything. Obviously, they're aware they are in the same building, and they've just, you know, they are in each other's vicinity, and there was that whole hand thing that happened, but it's like, no, a thing for another day. James seems to be in a pretty good mood, like he's allowed to have fun, but he kind of looks over his shoulder in the back where Ruby, Lynn, and Jude are sitting, and Jude is, of course, shamelessly flirting with Ruby, and James' mood shifts a little bit. He can't be consoled by Alistair right now because this man is drinking and is looking over the table at Cash, flirting with some girl. Usually he's our very level-headed king, but he's so frustrated with Cash right now. Camille is her name, the girl. He just makes he pokes a little fun at the way she laughs at Cash's jokes, like, because it's one of these exaggerated flirty laughs, right? So we just see Alistair like take a sip of his drink and just like do this exaggerated laugh back at Cash and Camille, and just he is, but also frustrated, and we'll find out why in a second when we're out in the open the next day. But James has to be, you know, they share one brain cell, so he has to like bump into him and be like, you're kind of too obvious right now, aren't you? And so he's like, well, fuck this, apparently nothing matters, and downs his drink. Lydia is there too, and Cyril just kind of notices that she's in a mood. She's kind of just like staring into blank space, and he tries to get her attention, spark up a little conversation, and he's like, yeah, I would have the same look on my face if they gave me water in a pub as well. Well, the reason she's drinking water is because she's preggo. Doesn't know that, but I don't even know what she says in the scene or if she says anything, but she stands up and goes outside, and that's important. Ruby also has her looking over the shoulder at James moment, and she stands up to go outside for some air too, and we get a great friendship forming scene between Lydia and Ruby. Like, remember, those two don't really have a relationship right now outside of the I saw you kiss your fucking teacher and your brother tried to bribe me and I fell in love with him. That's where they're at. But we get a very nice, like, female friendship, like, women bonding type scene outside that I'm very happy about. Ruby spots Lydia and she's throwing up. Ruby tries to, like, go and asks if she needs anything, like if she needs to hold her hair. Wait, no, I think that's in the book. Yeah, things from the book just like making their way back into my memory, maybe. She asks if it's about the interviews. Lydia is like, it's irrelevant how the interviews go. She can go to Oxford anyway. Ruby asks like, why, girly? Why wouldn't you be able to go to Oxford? Like, Lydia is just as smart, if not smarter. She's beaten her twice in those like class debates and stuff. So like, it doesn't make sense to Ruby. And Lydia just spits out that she hasn't had her period in 2 months now.
Girl, you're in trouble.
Ruby goes on, because she's a smart girl, right? She goes on to ask if it's Sutton's, and Lydia interrupts and she just says something that comes off very pro-life, but like, women are allowed to feel their feelings, right? It's okay. She goes, I know it's crazy, but I love him and I already feel like I love this baby too, and I'm gonna keep it. It's just like, yeah, and this...
Why do we have to do
I think my negative feelings around this are just because she's having a baby with her teacher. And I'm never gonna let this slide. Like, I need to make a comment about it because it's making me feel weird. And it's bad. Is it not? Ruby comes off as very supportive in this scene and tells Lydia that Oxford has great programs for working moms and she shouldn't give up on like her education, and she knew this from like researching scholarships for herself, but like options exist and I love that. And Lydia does too, because what she says back is, I'm starting to understand why he can't forget you. You make it seem like everything is possible, no matter how shitty everything is. Ruby is confused and she asks, like, what do you mean? And Lydia asks if she really doesn't know how much James is suffering right now. And Ruby is surprised to hear this. But honestly, I would be too, because his words on the lacrosse field cut so deep. I would also be like, nah.
Fuck you and
This
your feelings.
legit, like, what feelings? It seemed like he had none. He just reverted all the character development, all the I saw through the Beaufort armor thing meant nothing, basically. So why would I think about his feelings? He is back to being an asshole.
Fuck that guy.
Ruby is like, I don't get it. And Lydia replies, sometimes the biggest testament to love is letting it go. Do we think she means that she loves Sutton so much that she let him go because he doesn't deserve all the mess she's in? Also, this man is not aware that she's pregnant right now, and he doesn't find out this season. So I'm excited for season 2, which is a weird thing to say about this relationship. But actually, I think in the book it doesn't even come out until like book 3. I think,
pregnant?
yeah.
Like nobody notices that she's...
Not notices. The guy is just unaware.
Oh.
No one tells the guy. Also, it's been like, she's 2 months pregnant, and I think Mortimer, she tells Mortimer at some point in like a little fit, in like a family fight. And then he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna send you to boarding school or something. Or you're being homeschooled from now on or something like that. Like they are fully hiding the pregnancy. And therefore the guy doesn't find out until like month 6 or something. Yeah.
I mean, fair enough, you know?
Ruby is tossing and turning at night. She does not sleep a single hour. She even hears James come back and she like goes to the door. There's one of these scenes, right, where she just like listens if he got in or no. And we see him on the other side of the, well, not her door, just on the other side, right, on the hallway. take a look towards her door, like they are thinking about each other clearly. Distractions, a lot of them. We get a call back to that Olympic medalist thing from the beginning, and Ruby just thinks to herself, my Olympic score after 1 day in Oxford: sleep 0, distractions 10. Great score, Ruby Bell.
She's still hard on herself.
Yeah, but also, yeah, she wants to go to Oxford. She's like a high achieving individual. So, like, of course, her inner monologue is like, God damn it, girl. We cut straight to, like, Lynn and Ruby waiting outside to, like, get in for their second round of interviews. And Lynn tries to calm Ruby down a little, but it isn't going so well because someone walks out of the interview room and, like, crying, screaming, throwing up. It's quite dramatic, so it doesn't make Ruby feel any better.
Oh, that's classic when you have exams.
Yeah, like, I get the nerves, right? And you get why Ruby would think that Lydia was throwing up because of being nervous and anxious outside. Ruby's next interview question is just as thought-provoking as the first one, but at least the first one you would... it's like a politically loaded question. The next one is supposed to test their logic. There are 2 interviews in the room with Ruby and her, and she gets asked, how many persons are in the room right now? I'm like, 3? Question mark? Am I missing something? Well, apparently yes. She tries to quote Gibson saying, I perceive 2 other entities in the room, so she's trying to answer 3. But the interviewer is like, try again. So apparently the correct answer would be 4, and it's because the phrasing and context of the question may suggest that you need to include the perspective of the questioner. So the interviewer might be prompting you to think, like, consider different viewpoints, and basically think about the inclusion of the questioner's role. Like, yeah, there are 3 people, but also think about the, like, committee, the interview committee that formulated these questions for these people. So it's like they kind of have a presence in the room. There's like a 4th entity in there. I think that's the best I can explain this, because, like, or it makes you think about a hidden observer, which is a bit creepy. I like the inclusion of, like, an interview committee or whoever made the questions that the interviewers are asking. I like that perspective. The hidden observer is weird. Like a one-way mirror or something, like they're being interrogated. That's the answer. 4 is the answer. I think there's a reason why I don't want to go to Oxford. I don't want to beat myself down that much and be like, I would never get in, but also, what the hell are these interview questions? We cut outside, thank God. But, like, we get a sense that she's struggling in the second interview, right? But we move on. Probably all is well. We cut outside to Alistair trying to, like, recover from the night of drinking. But our sweet guy literally stopped to smell the flowers. He's, like, smelling this bouquet or whatever. It's like a flower pot, I don't even know, but he picks one and then walks down the stairs to where James is sitting. And I printed out the picture because it's so cute. Look at them, they're having such a nice time. They're just like, I don't know, I love them. I love their friendship. I love everything about this scene. He then talks to James about how Frasia's, oh my god, I will insert the pronunciation of this flower. I don't know how to pronounce it. Freesias?
I have no idea how to pronounce it. Flowers.
There is a flower.
It's a white flower, girl. What do you want me to say?
And whatever, they symbolize... Oh my god, the chain smacked my face. Took my eye out almost. Okay, now I'm being dramatic. But the flower symbolizes trust, right? And he is frustrated about his situationship and voices this to James. And he continues saying that he thought that if he gave Cash some space, he would realize how much he wronged him and how wrong his parents are about like their views. And he also thinks it was probably the wrong approach. Like he's regretting icing Cash out so much because like there's also disappointment in there because Cash is just trying to conform to his parents' views and what they want from him. And granted, Cash might be bisexual, there's no problem with that, but it's just like they like each other. Why won't Cash live his best authentic life, you know? I'm having warlike flashbacks to Christine Quinn on Selling Sunset. I don't think he's being his true authentic self.
Why did you bring that up? Oh my god.
And Alistair doesn't think Cash is being his true authentic self either. Of course, all that Alistair is saying right now resonates with James to no end. He's like, oh, okay. Like you can see it on his face, like he's thinking about Ruby and his situation, and he just tells Alistair something like, sometimes you don't have a choice and you have to live with letting go, right? Alistair says one always has a choice. You can fight or you can give up. I just don't understand why people are scared shitless of being their true selves.
Okay.
Wise beyond his years. Also, the actor, you know, when we played What Do We Think James Beaufort Smells Like? And we assigned the smell to cereal, and I think we talked about Alistair, but just a little bit. The actor actually had a campaign with Paco Rabanne. So I guess Alistair smells like 1 million now.
No, it's canon.
Yeah, like, it must be, right? We see James ponder on the words, and all he has ever wanted is just having this chance to discover like what his other options are. Like he just wants to have a choice, a say in what his life will be like in the future, and he wants a chance to fight for what he wants. They walk into the assembly and Alistair goes somewhere in the back to sleep off his hangover. Jude is conducting a Q&A session about like life at Oxford or whatever, and it's a bunch of people from Maxton Hall and a bunch of Oxford students. We see James, after the conversation, he's just head outside with Alistair about choices and free will, basically. James realizes he has free will. And we see him walk down the stairs towards Ruby and the empty seat next to her. But Jude like cuts him off and gets next to Ruby right before James does. No. And he looks back over his shoulder and is like, sorry, did you want to sit here? And James is like, nah, it's fine. And takes the seat like on the next row. Now we have a very loaded scene coming our way, which I love. As I was reading the script right before we turned on the camera, I was just like giggling and kicking my feet because it's so good. I'm probably gonna read like almost every line in this scene because like the people are like having a lot of feelings and letting them out in a very public setting again. And I'm having flashbacks to the philosophy class. One of the first questions is Lynn asking if they have any time for personal life, like how's the work-life balance at Oxford? And Jude is like, yeah, not gonna lie, it's very intense than other colleges, but there's always room for personal stuff. And he looks at Ruby and smiles. Again, shamelessly flirting. I'm not into it, I don't care, but he's there to be James's punching bag in this scene, and I'm all for it. No, it was someone else asking about this, like how's the work-life balance, and then Lynn jumps in and asks like if people attending different colleges at Oxford can still like be friends and have time for each other, because she wants to study at Balliol and Ruby wants to study at St. Hilda's. And then Jude is like, honestly, not really. Like, people don't really hang out cross college like that because there's just different vibes, right? And then James jumps in and he's like, naturally, Balliol is Oxford's elite college. Jude responds, that's an example of exactly what someone from Balliol would say. It's like, see kids, this is why we don't hang out. James cuts right back and asks Jude what his GPA is. And he just wants to know that he's qualified to prepare them for what lies ahead, like for student life. Ruby is fed up. But before we get to Ruby's reaction, I'm probably gonna insert the scene, because when Jude looks at Ruby smiling, like, yeah, we have time for personal stuff, James has this crazy, jealous look on his face.
He was fuming.
And he was fuming, that's why he started speaking. I don't know, I think he just went into like
Beast
mode basically, because he has these like crazy eyes, and he's like, eyes just go from Ruby to Jude, and he's like, in front of everyone, you shameless fuck, how dare you sir, flirt with possibly my girl, because it feels like he's making some conscious choices, right? Back to Ruby. Ruby is fed up, and she points out that there are applicants who actually want to ask important questions, and he shouldn't waste everyone's time with like unqualified remarks.
You go, girlie.
James asks, what's your problem? Ruby replies, I just think it's scary how you can switch and just sound just like him. Like who? Your father.
Oh!
The burn! And everyone in the room clocked it as well. And of course our King Alistair is in the back, and you can see him. He's kind of in the background, but you can still see his reactions. I love him. He's like, oh no, what just happened? What is happening right now? And also, here we go again. His face is literally like, I'm so fed up with these kids. Legit, like, just get a room. I think that's legit what he's thinking. He's like, guys, this could solve all your problems. I keep on wanting to point at Jude. He doesn't exist on the wall. Fuck it. But he tries to de-escalate. But James cuts back and then cuts him off again, and he's like, shut up, you clown.
Wait, that's what he said?
Shut up, you clown.
Oh god. Okay.
I love how messy these kids and their feelings are. Ruby says, leave him alone. James goes, am I ruining your first date?
Bitch.
Ruby, why are you even here? You want to go to fancy Balliol, but don't act like it was your decision. James is like,
Shots fired. Oh
James is like, what? Ruby, it's your strategy. You make everyone feel small, push everyone away so that no one notices you're just a coward who would rather be a puppet instead of standing up for what you want.
Okay. Alright.
She finishes that statement. She realizes that she had another very public outburst at James. Again, flashbacks to philosophy class where he ran out and she regretted and apologized to him, right? But this time, she storms off.
No parallels.
The best scene in the whole show is upon us. Is everyone ready? Strap in. She rushes up the stairs and James is running after her. She turns around and tells him, "You've been ignoring me for the past few weeks. Can we go back to that?" James, "What if I say you're right? I let others decide my life. I do unforgivable things. I lie. I hide how I really feel. But I won't let you judge me for it because I do it for you." She's like, "What are you talking about?" "Forget it. Talk to me instead of speaking in stupid riddles. You drive me crazy. You drive me crazy. Do you know what you're doing to me right now? Do you think it's easy for me to see you, to hear your voice?" The dialogue is delicious and it's very Kate and Anthony in Bridgerton. What is it you think you do to me? I love it.
They got you hooked.
They got me hooked so, like, I was already hooked. I was just like, this scene is just gold. He continues, "You can't just dump me and embarrass me in front of everyone and then act like I misunderstood the situation." Fair point. James stays silent. He nods his head in disbelief, and I don't even think he knows what he wanted from this conversation. I think it just happened. He just reacted on like instinct. But it's a good thing he followed her because what follows is worth it. I'm just gonna say that. When he finally speaks, he says, "I can't, Ruby. I'm sorry. Okay?" She goes, "Then why are you here? Why are you talking to me?" He tries to muster a reason, but Ruby cuts him off again and says, "You don't know because you don't know what you want. You don't know anything." And storms out. No, well, not really out. She storms up the stairs and she wants to go to her room, right? James falls behind, but like we see him follow her. She's in front of her room. She drops her keys. James shows up. He finally climbed the stairs. Tears in his eyes, streaming down his face, messy hair, and a determined look on his face. "I know exactly what I want." "Then why don't you fight for it?" "Because no one was ever interested in what I wanted." Ruby says, "I am. I've always been interested in what you wanted." She walks up to him, but then he says nothing. He looks at her in disbelief. She turns to leave. He grabs her hand and pulls her into such a passionate kiss. I was like, oh my god, what is happening? He lifts her off the ground. Her legs wrap around his waist. They bang on the door. They go into her room, and it's like hot and heavy, right? We've seen these kids make out in the basement before. We know the sparks are flying. Chemistry is there. They are, again, DTF. But the vibes are off. Ruby gets flashbacks to him rejecting her and breaking up with her on the lacrosse field. Do you really think someone like me would fall for someone like you? James senses this and they stop making out and they are just sitting on the side of the bed now. James says he's sorry because he realizes he fucked up. But Ruby asks, like, why and what is this all about? Like, what is his reaction about? Like, what is happening? He stands up from the bed and starts pacing around the room. And he finally just, like, tells her the whole truth and nothing but the truth. He's like, his parents have seen how much he changed and how it was distracting him from the family business, from lacrosse, from everything James Beaufort was before Ruby Bell, right? And of course Mortimer saw it as a threat And she's listening to this. He continues and says like, dude, my dad threatened you and your whole life, and he swore he'll destroy every chance you have at getting into Oxford and your whole life with it. Like, he tells her how he knows about the dad, the mom, the dad, fucking everything. And he just says, you deserve to be with someone who can protect you. You deserve a family who welcomes you, and I can't offer that. I can't offer you anything except problems that I can't even deal with myself. James Beaufort, everyone. He might be an asshole, but he feels all his feelings, and I'm like, I'm here for it. Ruby asks why didn't he tell her any of this before, and continues by saying that he cannot decide what she can or cannot handle. He says that he doesn't want Mortimer to hurt her, and she's like, no, it's like, I can handle it. But I'm like, I relate to the sentiment, but Ruby, baby, you have no idea what you're up against. This dude is maniacal and evil. I don't think a delusional teenager has any chances against this man. But we'll see. Hey, if the Teen Wolf Gang can defeat Gerard or whatever.
Yeah, but that was Scott using his brain for once, you know? That's the power of it.
Hey, Ruby has a brain. They'll handle Mortimer at a later date. It's fine. James makes his way back to the bed and sits next to Ruby, and finally there are no more secrets between them. He just asks out loud, how do you do it? You don't know what he's capable of. I won't be able to. He stumbles onto his words, he's crying. She gets closer to him and she's like, no more secrets, no more lies. I'm sorry, I just remembered the look on his face. He has such a...
You're just distracted by the pretty face.
I am distracted by the pretty face. And it's all in my head. I just remember because I'm like, I read the words in the script, I'm like, oh fuck.
Oh my god,
it's so good. It's like that painting, the
angel?
The angel, yes, crying. That's literally like, yeah, I'm just gonna put it up. Tell me this face isn't giving that painting. And it's so beautiful because like she just like pulls up his chin and he's like crying and everything. His eyes are glimmering with tears and stuff, and he just lets out an I promise and kisses her hand. This man. And they pick up right where they left off. Their dialogue is delicious and maybe intimate enough that I was blushing at the scene.
Okay.
The next part is censored. It's quite intense. It's very nice. While reading the script, I realized that in the book it's also like a spicy chapter, but it's like, it's nice. It's not too heavy on the spice, but it's written well. It's intimate. It's beautiful. It's her first time, but he's not aware. She gets quite intense, like she's very into it, and he's also like, damn, like, yes. He's like, damn, like she's so decisive in her academic life. She's the same in bed.
Oh, he was the one blushing.
Oh yes, he's so, like, they are so into each other because we don't get her POV, but we get his. Hers comes right after, I think. Basically, we get a scene where he's like, this was your first time. You should have told me. It could have been more special. And then she goes, no, are you kidding? It is special enough. I'm at Oxford. I had my first time. And I didn't want to tell you because you would have been too gentle. I was like, Ruby Bell.
She likes it rough.
She does like it rough. God whatever. Again, a teen drama. A teen drama. But they are delicious, and the scene is so gentle and cute. And it also in the show they keep up this lightheartedness. This dialogue isn't in the show. We do get is this the guy who destroys waterbeds? It wasn't a waterbed. Call back to the scene in the car where they were getting to know each other first. After the things that I cannot possibly talk about on YouTube openly happen, they are sharing this like blissful moment of joy. They're just like so happy in bed. And James just says like he never wants to leave. Not today, not tomorrow, ever. They are high on endorphins. He's like, tomorrow morning the world will keep turning. And he turns and stares at the ceiling. And the weight of the world is creeping back in and onto his shoulders. And you can see it. Ruby notices this and just reminds James that he has as many opportunities as anyone else, and gets up from the bed to get her notebook. She goes on to say that when she's nervous or not sure what she wants to do, she makes like priority lists or to-do lists or whatever. And she gets back onto the bed and tells James he should make a list. He starts a list. It's supposed to be things that he likes, because he tells her he's not even sure what he likes and what he doesn't like. And she's like, okay, let's just go. His list includes traveling to Bangkok because he likes spicy food. Like, fair. That's number 1. 2, lacrosse. 3, he likes to read and he would like to read more. 4, he has a passion for drawing. He likes drawing. And says, I feel happy when I'm drawing. This man is an artist and maybe he should start studying at St. Hilda's, not Balliol. Maybe he doesn't want a business degree. I'm just like putting it out there. He then says, I forgot to add the most important one, and adds number 5, Ruby.
Aww.
She's on the list. It's things he like wants for his future, things he likes. This is like just a list of that I don't think this man has ever thought about. I don't think he's ever thought about like, what do I like, what do I want? It's all his character is about, right? And we see a glimpse of what their relationship could be like. All this time we're intercutting between them in bed and having their cute moment, and them having a little middle of the night romantic walk outside in and around Oxford. It's the next day. We cut to Ruby's last interview, where it's just like the last question is why Oxford, and we have a callback to that metaphor with the elephant that's like tied by this very flimsy string and this little pole, and it's all in the elephant's head that he's stuck right in place. We're familiar with the story, reference back to part 1 of this video, I guess, or go watch the show. As we get this story and metaphor again from Ruby and what it means, like we get a literally well done word, can't speak. Yes. We get an analysis, right, of what the story of the elephant means. We see James have this very calm, serene look on his face walking around Oxford, and it seems like he's made a decision. And throughout Ruby's answer to the question, we cut to Balliol, where someone calls James's name and there's an empty seat. This man walked out. He decided that he doesn't want to study at Oxford, and he didn't present himself for that last round of interviews. Didn't think he had the balls. I'm happy for him, but also Mortimer. I'm not looking forward to Mortimer's reaction to this. I know what happens. I'm not gonna spoil it. But like, there's no other hit. Or is there? Let's see. We cut to Lydia, who also seems like she's made a decision. I think she's with Cyril and he's talking to her about something. But, just about like them going back to Maxton Hall and things going back to normal, right? Because he doesn't like change. But she's just like dissociating, going in and out of that conversation with him, because she sees a mother and her child just like on the halls at college, and it seems like she's made her own decision. And she just replies to Cyril like, why does change have to be a bad thing always? A hopeful undertone. Outside, James kisses Ruby, gets her on the bus, and he has this very happy look on his face. Everything is well in James Beaufort's life right now, in this present moment. He kinda has Ruby, he made a decision about school, he's gonna deal with the consequences later. In all this show, you never see James as happy as in this scene when he just like waves Ruby goodbye and watches her get on the bus and like leave. In the car with Percy, they both have very content looks on their faces. As I've said, I don't think we've seen these children as at peace in this show so far. Percy's face doesn't say that. Percy is quite sad, I would say. Again, the vibes are off. They get home. You see their servants. Oh my god, they're so rich. They have servants. I said servants. Lol. Yeah, their servants, their housemaids, whatever. You see, there's a mood. There's something in the air, and one of them just tells them like, "Yo, you just gotta go talk to Mortimer." Before this, we see Belly. Oh my god, the samurai turned pretty. Why? Yeah, I'm sorry, I had flashbacks.
Why did you just attack yourself?
As I said Belly, and I just had flashbacks of Jeremiah.
I have
I'm
no
like,
idea who those people are, and I don't.
Oh no, I can't do a recap of that. No, it's been done to death. Maybe if the samurai turned pretty was in German, I would be down to do this, but I can't. Nothing is original. What is original work? Everyone is exposed to the same things online.
Spiraling.
Yeah, here I am, because I want to avoid what's coming, but not really. Because there's something good. In all of this bad, there's something good coming. Quickly, before we go back into the Beaufort mess, Ruby gets home, and the downstairs area is all empty, and she hears laughter and like just good things from upstairs. The lift isn't repaired, is replaced, so they finally have a new lift, and her dad went upstairs to like her parents' original bedroom, you know, and everything is well at the Ruby household. At the Bell household. I think I called her Belly because I just mushed the names together. I was just like, yeah, Ruby and Ruby Bell Belly. Back at the Beaufort residence, the kids are set down. There's tension in the air. Cordelia is dead. Everyone goes into shock. Everyone being Lydia and James. It happened the night they went to Oxford. Lydia is crying, just like broken down. James is just stunned, but you see him just in that last scene where they were being lectured. James is like clenching his fists, And he just goes, and you didn't call us? Mortimer. Like, just like a bastard with no feelings. Like, he should be grieving, shouldn't he? Or maybe this is his grief response. He's just straight up into business mode. He's like, what would be the point? It would ruin your interviews. It wasn't worth it. And your mother wouldn't want that. She would want you to do the interviews, right? James has had it with this man, and you can just see him. And shout out to the editing, because it's so good. You can feel what James is feeling as well. Like, we go in and out of focus. His mind is like everywhere. He's processing this horrible news they just got. Meanwhile, the fucking devil is on the phone on a business call where he's telling the board to like be careful about investors, take care of them, to not panic because we don't want the stock to go down. And James is literally like, are you for real like now? He just looks at him, anger all over his face, and we just see Lydia look up and say, James, no. Too late, babes, because James finally explodes, and all that anger and resentment he had built up inside of him, like all of his life basically, he finally has the accurate reaction that you would have with such a father. He charges at him and punches Mortimer a bunch of times. I think it's Percy that like gets him off Mortimer, but like he gets some punches in. He like tackles him to the ground. It's like it's such a win for our boy, but also the context is like R.I.P. Cordelia. James storms out, or rather is taken out by Percy and away from Mortimer. He has these flashbacks back to the last conversation he had with Cordelia, the last time he saw her and he got in the car without saying goodbye. And literally the last time they spoke to each other, they fought over what is expected of him as a Beaufort. He takes off on foot and he just needs to get out of there. We don't know where he's going right now. We go back to Ruby, where the final parallel of the season is her inner monologue, where she goes on again about everyone deserves a world full of opportunities to dream their own dreams, to be who they want to be, yada yada. James is crying on the street, holding onto his grandpa's watch in the clenched fist that he just punched Mortimer with. He stops at Ruby's house, but there's this heartbreaking scene where he just looks in through the window and sees Ruby just celebrating with her family. They're all happy, having dinner. And we just know that he doesn't want to ruin that. We go back to what he thinks Ruby can or cannot handle, but also how he feels about her. And I don't think he wants to ruin just the joy right now that Ruby is feeling, because she's on a high, right, after Oxford and all the interviews going well. And he goes back in his mind, basically. You can see it on his face that Ruby deserves better than this. He looks down at his bloodied fist, his signet ring, his grandpa's watch, and walks away. End of season 1.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
And let's start
Beautiful.
with the funeral.